How to create an RFX evaluation in Bids&Tenders. Hello and welcome to Bids&Tenders. In this video, we will be setting up an evaluation. Evaluations may be set while the bid is in design, open, or closed status. If you have an RFP template, you can even template a certain part of the RFX setup. The evaluation module is only available to those agencies doing online bidding. This module must be turned on for you by one of our project managers. If you are looking to get started with using evaluations, please contact your Bids&Tenders project manager and they will work with you to set this up. Once the evaluations module has been enabled for you, you can use it by first navigating to your bid, and in the Bid Detail tab, scroll down to the radio buttons. Here you will see Enable Evaluations. Here, click on the radio button next to Yes in order for the Evaluations tab to appear, and then click Save. The tab will appear at the top. If you are unable to see the tab, please make sure you click the arrow to the right to move through the tabs. Click on the Evaluation tab. After you've clicked on the Evaluation tab, click on the blue bar to launch your evaluation setup. When the evaluation setup is launched, the details at the top of the screen will be pre-populated with information about your bid. In this Notes section on the top right-hand side of your screen, you are able to add any internal notes about this evaluation. These are internal and not viewable by any of the evaluators or vendors and are completely optional. Depending on your agency's process, you will now select the best scoring option: consensus score or average score. In both cases, the system calculates a weighted average. The average score is a method that does not provide the ability for the purchasing user or evaluator to update or change the scores once the evaluation period has closed. Consensus score, when chosen, provides an additional scorecard for the purchasing user, preserving the evaluator's original scorecards, and provides two options for the additional scorecard of either a single consensus or an updated consensus. The difference between single consensus and updated consensus score. The single consensus score allows you to provide a single score for the evaluation group per an evaluated item, while preserving the individual scorecards of the evaluators. It is important to note that the evaluator's original scorecards remain unchanged. For the updated consensus score, this will allow you to update an individual evaluator's score, which will be recalculated based on the average of the updated scores. It is important to note that the evaluator's original scorecards remain unchanged. Please note that although you are able to change the scores in the consensus scorecard, the original independent scores entered by the evaluators will still be preserved in their other scorecards. Now we will select one, either the single consensus score or the updated consensus score. Next, the evaluation dates. The start date. This is where you will indicate the date and time of the evaluation process to begin. This date and time can be adjusted at any point. The start date is usually the bid closing date. The end date. This is the date where the overall evaluation process is to be completed by. This date can be extended to allow evaluators more time to complete their evaluation. Please keep in mind that once the evaluation due date passes, the evaluators will no longer be able to access the evaluation until you extend the end date. The consensus meeting date. This is the date for consensus meeting that will take place with the evaluators. This date can be adjusted at any time and can happen before or after the evaluation end date. If the average score was selected, then only the evaluation start and end date need to be inputted. Instructions. If you wish to provide instructions to the evaluators, this is where you would do so. Click on Edit to add the instructions. These instructions will be presented to the evaluator prior to them starting their evaluations. This is how the evaluator will see your instructions. Once you have saved the information, click on Evaluation Stages next. Here, you will indicate the evaluation stages. To add a new stage, click Add New Stage. This will pop up a new screen for you to fill out information about a particular stage. Once the stages have been set up, you will be able to add the items that fall under each stage. There are different stage types for you to choose from: the compliance check, evaluation, interview, and price. The compliance check. This is a pass or fail check. No actual scores are assigned for these items. For example, when you are checking to see if the respondent has included the mandatory items, if the bidder does not pass on any one item, they will not move forward to the next stage of the evaluation process, and the evaluators will not see this proposal submission. Evaluation. And this stage type will include items that will be assigned scores, most commonly known as the technical stage. For example, the technical proposal stage may include items such as work plan, staff resumes, and methodology. Interview. This is for an interview to be set up if an interview or demonstration is required. Price. This stage type will automatically evaluate pricing as long as you have a subtotal bid amount in your eBid. If you did not set the pricing in your eBids tab to add up to a subtotal bid amount, you will need to evaluate the pricing using the evaluation type stage. The bidder with the lowest price receives the maximum score. Setting up the compliance check. Select the compliance check in the stage type. Indicate the start date and the time of this stage of the evaluation to begin and end. Name the stage, and in the scorecard legend, indicate to the evaluator how this stage should be scored. No, compliance checks are pass or fail. Setting up the evaluation stage. Select the stage type of evaluation. You may have multiple evaluation type stages in your evaluation, but for our purposes today, we will include just one evaluation stage. This will be the technical proposal stage. Indicate the number, the name for the stage, and the scorecard legend. This legend can be copy and pasted in. This is how the items within the stage or the evaluated criteria will be scored, and what each score means. Rating scale is the minimum or maximum value points that the evaluator is scoring the criteria out of 5 or out of 10. The weight is the total weight of the stage. For example, the technical stage is worth 70 out of 100, meaning that all of the evaluated criteria or items within the stage will add up to the weight of 70 out of 100. And the price is worth 30 out of 100, and then the weight for the stage is 70. We will now set the start and due date for this stage. This can be the same as your evaluation date. However, if you need this evaluation done prior to proceeding to the next stage, this is where you would indicate these rooms. Now, you would add the evaluators for this stage. Save the changes. Note, if you need to delete a stage/evaluator, you can do it on this screen. If you do not know who the evaluators are, you can skip this and add them later. The evaluators need to be set up in the system first, prior to adding them to your evaluation. Setting up the pricing stage. Select Type as Price. Indicate what the stage number is and give it a name. Remember that this stage will calculate pricing automatically only if you have set up your pricing tables to come to a subtotal bid amount. If you are evaluating hours or unit prices, for example, with no total, you will need to set up your pricing as an evaluation type stage and evaluate it manually. In the automatic pricing evaluation option, the lowest bidder will be ranked the highest. Next, we will go to submission requirements. Submission requirements. Once you have finished setting up your stages, click Submission Requirements. This is where you will set up the individual items or evaluated criteria. This is also where you will be indicating to the evaluators precisely what part of the submission they will be reviewing when evaluating an item. You will click on the tab for the stage that you want to set up the submission requirement for. Remember, in our example for technical stage, we gave a weight of 70 to this stage. This is important to remember when we are setting this up. There are now two ways to set this up. This will be based on your process or your preference. We can set this up by using sections and items within that section, or by items only. First, let's look at sections and items. This is what we are trying to accomplish. The company background as a section with the weight of 35. Within this section, two items, relevant experience and client references at the weight of 25, and resumes at the weight of 10. Note how the total weight for this section will equal the original 35. Then we continue to the second section of project team for also a weight of 35. Within this section, two items of project work plan at a weight of 15 and a list of subcontractors with a weight of 20. Again, total weight is 35 for this section. In order to set up the section, we will click on Add Section. We will give it a name, company background, and the total weight of 35. Click Save Changes. Now we will add the items to this section. Click Add New Item. Give it a number. Give it a name, in this case, relevant experience and client references. Attach it to the section that we created. It will appear in the drop-down menu of company background. Give it the weight that we had decided on, in this example, 25. And now we will attach relevant documents to this evaluation. These will display for viewing for each submission for the evaluator to read through. Note, if you add the whole bid document, the evaluator will have to search for the relevant information for their evaluation. Choosing the right files to display to them makes the evaluator's process less confusing. Then click Save Changes. We will do this for all the other requirements in this technical stage by following the same steps. To set this up by item only, we're going to click on Add New Item. We're going to give it a number. Note that the numbering can be whole numbers or decimals. We're going to add the name, in this example, company background, and we do not choose a section. Assign a weight for this item, and remember that the weight for all your items together cannot exceed the total weight of the stage. Now, click on the documents that have the information pertaining to the company background that has been submitted by the vendor, allowing access to the evaluator. If you click on Bid Document, this will allow the evaluator to see the entire submission document. Click on Save Changes. Continue to do the same for each item. Click Add Item, give it a number and a name, and assign the weight for this item. Then click on the documents that have the information pertaining to the company background that has been submitted by the vendor, allowing access to the evaluator. Click on Save Changes. Once you've completed setting up your evaluation items for all your stages, click on Summary. This section will display all of the stages, evaluated items, and the assigned evaluators. Click Complete to finish setting up your evaluation. You will have the option of switching between the different stages you have set up. By default, every stage will be set to closed. To open the stage, you will click on Switch to Open for Evaluation if the stage is closed. If the stage is closed, the evaluators will not have access to the evaluation. You can open and close the evaluation stages at any point in time. From here, you are able to email the evaluators with details of the evaluation. To view the evaluators and their progress, click on the Evaluators section here. It will show you the evaluator's name, the stage, and progress in percentage, and the last time the evaluator had updated any information in the evaluation. To view the various scorecards, click on Scorecard section. Here are two views, a summary and all comments. The summary displays all the scorecards, and all the comments displays all comments in each scorecard. Note, you can view a specific vendor and specific evaluator's comments by clicking on the company, then the evaluator's name, and only their scorecard will appear. You have now completed your evaluation setup. To view how to do average and consensus scorecards, please go to the next video.